Here is Brian Kilmeade basically saying if AOC would like to see rockets hit Queens, that's why it's twofer, right? We're going to protect Israel. We're also going to maintain the demonization of AOC. And we're going to do it in the morning. Of course, they'll leave a lot of it to Tucker and his guests later. But here is Kilmeade.
We're also hearing from New York Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who tweeted, if the Biden administration can't stand up to an ally, who can it stand up to? How can they credibly claim to stand for human rights? Now, we are also hearing from Senate Republicans who are taking a different approach, saying the U.S. needs to do more to stand with Israel. We'll see if the president has any new reaction today to the lawmakers you just heard from. He's going to be coming back from Delaware in the next hour where we spent the weekend. We'll see if he has anything to add.
All
Steve,
right,
Ainsley, and Brian, back to you guys.
All right, I appreciate it. So let's see if AOC would be happy if 3,000 rockets hit Queens, New York. Would she want the government to respond? 3,000 rockets. Dan Bongino joins us now, Fox News contributor, NYPD officer, former Secret Service agent, best-selling author, as you know, and soon to get a show on our weekends. Dan, it's fascinating. If you're Joe Biden right now, you're getting hit harder from the left than you are from the right.
Yeah, listen, guys, this is not complicated to understand, okay? Only if you're dense or a liberal are you having a tough time with what's going on right now. You know, it reminds me of Golda Meir, her famous line, you know, we can forgive you for killing our children, but we can never forgive you for making us kill yours. That's what's, digest that first. That's what's happening right now. Israel did not engage in an unprovoked attack on civilian areas in Palestinian-controlled territories. That's not what happened, guys. That's not what happened.
Now, what they did do, I mean, I guess it's how narrowly tailored you want to express this. Israel did engage in attacks on areas controlled by Palestinians in the context of their homes in Sheikh Jarrah. That did happen. Then they stormed protests at Al-Aqsa Mosque using stun grenades and military.
Worshippers. Imagine if that happened in a church. What would Dan Bongino say? On
what is equivalent to, like, you know, whatever it is, midnight mass or Easter. And frankly, I don't think Benjamin Netanyahu feels too badly about killing Palestinian children or civilians. There's absolutely no indication of that whatsoever. But this is the propaganda the right has. And this is, well, you know, look, this is the dynamic that is going to play out. This, I don't expect much to change in the near term with American policy in terms of Israel or Palestinians. But we have a very clear picture this week of what the future looks like. And the only difference is you're not even going to, you know, like the right is going to be talking about whoever the Joe Biden figure is in 5 or 10 years. When, if the Democrats are in power 5 or 10 years from now, maybe 20 years from now, 15 years, the funding to Israel is going to get cut off. It's going to get cut off. And they're going to be isolated. Yeah, no, I hope. And it should. But like, I think it's quite possible that we are even beyond the point, which I despair, that we're even beyond the point of leveraging what these people do, because it's becoming the Israeli population is becoming so fanatical that it's hard to imagine that they're going to have the rationality to sort of step back from the brink. But this is the way it's going to go. I mean, this is the way it's going to go. There's no other. It is just, the world is just not going to continue to tolerate the one-sided slaughter, regardless of whatever, you know, like slingshots Palestinians are able to use. The world's just not going to tolerate this dynamic. They're not.
Yeah, and well, I hope so. The comments about AOC, would she be happy if 3,000 rockets hit Queens, right? That's a twofer for them, as you kind of hit on a little bit. They can signal to their audience, maybe she would be happy about it. Maybe she's a weak liberal who kind of hates other Americans. She's anti-American, right? And later in the clip, they, of course, rope in Ilhan Omar and say that, I mean, I don't know if you want to get to it, but they say that Bernie Sanders, Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, AOC want to see Jews dead. So that's kind of what it is. But the other right, the other part of it, outside of signaling that, is that this is part and parcel of their worldview when it comes to any dominant power, whether it be Israel or the United States, causing conflict. It's always justifiable, no matter how many people we kill, right? But if there's any ounce of retaliation.
Well, the Israel thing too has that added benefit of being part of, sort of the religious right and that whole Christian Zionist.
Yeah,
thing.
and then there's the white faces and brown spaces argument that we've been hearing before too. I mean, they get to kind of lump Islamophobia into it as well.